Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal Warner. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. We are here live for you guys. The afternoon after a great win for Manchester United yesterday, which it was a great win for Manchester United, regardless about the negative spin that people are going to put on it, regardless what the Eric Ten Hag outers think and Eric Ten Hag haters think. Do you know what? It's a good start. We cannot completely downplay the relevance of this win at the end of the day. You know what? It isn't the biggest thing in the world at the moment. I know that it isn't. We haven't won the Champions League. I know that we're not top of the league. I know that. But you know what? It just takes a small spark to get things going, guys. And that's what I would say. It's a small spark that is the thing that really matters the most when you're talking about football, guys. And you know what? Yesterday could have been our spark, guys. It could have been our spark. Do you know what? I've seen a lot of people on Instagram, on social media in general, being very, very defensive in regards to the result yesterday. Almost like they didn't want Manchester United to win. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't, because at the end of the day, this is the team they're supposed to support. So I don't know what is wrong with them. I think is something wrong? Is it mental? I don't know. But at the end of the day, they're supposed to be supporting a club they love. And you know what? Whether we win, whether they're Ten Hag in, whether they're Ten Hag out, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? As long as Man United win the football match, and that is what it's all about at the end of the day. Guys, you know what? There is a defeatist mentality within our fan base. And you know what? I spoke about it yesterday to a number of people saying that Brentford are going to cook us. Brentford are going to do this, that, and the other. You know, we're a mid-table team, this, that, all this rubbish, you know, all this negativity spin that was happening yesterday. So I had to defend it. I had to defend the club, because we should stop going into that trap, which is the defeatist mentality. And once you've got that defeatist mentality, it's very hard to get rid of it. It's very hard to get rid of a defeatist mentality. We don't believe in that at Old Trafford. At Man United, we don't believe in a defeatist mentality. Every single game we play, I honestly think, from the bottom of my heart, I think we're going to win it. I do. And I always predict that we're going to win. Yesterday, I said it'd be 2-1 to Manchester United. Lo and behold, it was 2-1 to Manchester United. Yesterday, I said it would be Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund scoring. Lo and behold, it was Rasmus and Garnacho. We have to keep the belief. No, we are not there yet. We are far from being where we want to be, of course, guys. That is obvious. But you know what? A win is a win, and we have to take every little spark from every win, guys. That is what it's all about. Let me just go to some of your comments, guys. Absolutely. Fans are now allowing these fans. My goodness me! Big up MUFC now. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hello, Sal, and everyone. Big up Kazi. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Fans need to. Sal, you said no. I said 2-1 yesterday, Kazi. 2-1. Do you want me to prove it? I said 2-1 yesterday. I changed my mind, Kazi. Before the game and the day before, I said 2-1, and I said Rasmus and Garnacho will score. There you can play it down. Look at the show yesterday, mate. Fans need to allow themselves to enjoy the good days. There won't be many sunshine, but when there is, we will be going out to play. Let the haters hate. Stay. Look, mate. Look, I'm seeing some of the comments MEC now on the Twitter page, right? People talking about, you know, blue ticks and things like that. Irrelevant things to me. Look, at the end of the day, people who pay for blue ticks, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, don't they like money? Because let me tell you something about blue ticks on Twitter, right? You get paid from Twitter, from the billionaire, to have a blue tick. So you don't pay for it. You get it for free plus more. So I don't understand how these really, I call them village people, the way they think. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, I just refrain from arguing with them, mate. Absolutely refrain from arguing with them. You know what? They don't really want Man United to win, in my opinion. They want their opinion to win. They want their opinion to win. They are egotistical maniacs that need to be humbled. That is what it is at the end of the day. Because they were made to look stupid last season. They were. And they began to look stupid this season as well. And they will. And I really hope they are going to look stupid this season. Now, I don't come out here and say that Eric Ten Hag's the be-all and end-all and he's the completely untouchable. I'm not saying that at the end of the day. I'm Manchester United. But one thing I always do, and I make sure I get my own house in order. I support my football team. That is what it's all about. And yesterday, I predicted we'll win the game, and we won the game. And that is what it's all about at the end of the day, winning football matches. And the more football matches we win, the better it will be, of course. But he is not invincible. We know he's not invincible. But do you know what? Support your football team. And that is what I would say until he's no longer the manager. If he is no longer the manager, of course, guys, that's what I would say. Big up Sal, big 2-1 as well. Big up Kenny. You know what we did, Kenny, yesterday. You remember yesterday when I said 2-1, didn't you? We were there together. I said 2-1, of course, mate. Absolutely, absolutely. I celebrated the win, but room for improvement. Absolutely room for improvement, Kenny. That is what it's all about, bro. It's all about improvement. It's all about learning from our mistakes. You know what? We are slow in midfield. There are parts of our game that we have to fix. I do believe we need to be a little more quicker in the transition. We're standing still on the ball sometimes. I don't agree with that, but that's going to take time. I don't agree with Eriksen in that number 8 position. Hopefully, against Fenerbahce on Thursday, we can sort something out and try something new. It would have been great to try something new yesterday, but you know what? I take the win. I felt we just needed to win that game. Absolutely need to win that game. Now, if we go to West Ham and we beat West Ham, of course, guys, if we defeat West Ham, things are going to look a lot more rosy, ain't they? You know, ain't they? We're 6 points from second place, guys. 6 points. Some people acted like the league has already ended in October. You know, and this is what I've been saying. This is what I'm trying to stress to people. What the league is not over, guys. It's not over yet. Just let the league finish. Then you can start claiming that we are a mid-table team and said that. Absolutely. People like Goldbridge, Sterling, Rashford, and I think he's been one of our best players this season. Rashford has been good this season. To Daniel, he's been one of the better performers. I would say that absolutely. He has been one of the better performances. And I really hope he does get back to where he belongs, which is scoring 20, 30 goals a season, because we know he's got the capabilities. One thing I want to know your opinion about, Daniel, is that, you know, he played on the right yesterday. He did start on the left, but he ended up drifting out to the right. Do you think that his best position is on that right-hand side? Because he's got a good cross in him, hasn't he? And he is right-footed, naturally. And he's got a good cross in him, mate. He's got a good cross in him. And when we whip that ball in, there's no substitute for a good ball into the box. No substitute for it. Whether it's 1995 or 2025, it doesn't matter. There's no substitute for a good ball into the box. And I felt, do you know what, yesterday, that assist for Garnacho is fantastic. Yes, Garnacho's finish was brilliant. Absolute world class. But to be honest with you, you know what? I think he's done all right. And I think, you know what, if he can get parts of his game fixed in regards to the assists, and I think he is improving on that and get more goals and more consistency, I wish him nothing but the best, of course, guys. This was Rashford's best performance this season. I believe so, Kenny. I think he was good this season. I think he's been all right this season so far in general. In general, he's been all right this season. You know, he's been by far one of our better players, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. He's been by far one of the better players. Although, you know what, there is room for improvement. Not only room for improvement from Rashford, but room for improvement from every single one of those players. In particular, in that midfield area, we are very, very slow. I think we're very, very slow. And against bigger teams, we might get a little bit exposed. That's what I'm worried about, if I'm being honest with you guys. Good morning, Dan. David, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my guy. I hope everything is good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We've got to go, Man United fans around the world. Sal, good prediction. At least we won. Played well in the second half. Let's look forward to Thursday. Let's be positive. And this is what it's all about. It's all about momentum. You know what? We got the win. We got the win. We played well yesterday. But you know what? It means nothing if we go and lose to Fenerbahce and we don't beat West Ham. It's all about momentum. It's all about carrying this into the next game. And you know what? Keeping that confidence there and belief that we're going to go to Turkey next week, and we're going to defeat Fenerbahce. After that, we got a tough game against West Ham. We all know what West Ham are like at the Olympic Stadium, wherever they play these days. The Olympic Stadium, of course. And we all know that they are quite tricky there. We have had some bad times there. In particular, last year, we have had some terrible results in that stadium. So let's change the narrative. Let's hope that we get that win. Let's hope that, you know what, we put that hoodoo to bed and we win against West Ham. We win against Fenerbahce. And who knows how the atmosphere will be within the fan base. The toxicity might disappear. You never know. At the end of the day, it might disappear. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Let's hope so. I said 2-1 since Thursday. I said Garnacho and Rasmus will score, Kazi. Twisted. Up the stakes, mate. Up the stakes. Man City cheaters trailing 1-0 against Wolves. Kazi, they lost there as well last season. Do you remember? Wasn't it 3-2? Didn't they lose there last season as well? You know what? I was going to do a watch along for one of those games, but I thought, you know what? Nah. I'm going to pick and choose my games I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to start doing more watch alongs. I will be start doing other teams as well, guys. I'm just waiting to confirm what type of games I'll be watching, and stuff like that. Definitely, guys. Absolutely. Garnacho was better on the left. I agree, Kenny. He is better on the left. I do think he is a better player coming from the left. His pace is incredible. He was running at the fullback yesterday, and you know what? It gave me memories of an old Ryan Giggs. You know, I know that is high praise indeed, but it did give me reminiscence of Ryan Giggs. It gave me flashbacks. You know, nostalgia all over the place. It was like Ryan Giggs. He was playing excellently yesterday, and you know what? He's still a young player, so he's got plenty of room to improve, guys. He's got plenty of room to improve. So you know what? Guys, you know what? Best of luck to Garnacho because I think he's going to be a star. You know, I think Rasmus is going to be a star. I've been saying it. I've been screaming out. Let's not forget about Rasmus. Let's not forget about Rasmus. And look what happened yesterday. You know, he held up the ball. He brought players into the game. His finish was sublime. I mean, that is Ruud van Nistelrooy-esque finish. If you watch Ruud van Nistelrooy's first few games for Man United, in particular his first game for Man United, he scored a couple of goals like that. Go back and look at that. He scored a couple of goals like that. Little dink over the goalkeeper. Brilliant. That is Ruud van Nistelrooy. You can tell he's been on the training pitch with Ruud van Nistelrooy. You can really tell that they've been working together, which is great news, of course, guys. Daniel, he's better on the right. I agree, Daniel. I agree. You, me both. I don't think Garnacho is good enough yet. He's way too selfish. I don't know, mate. I think we need to give him more game time. I think he's been brilliant. I think he's brilliant yesterday. I think the way he ran at the defense, I think it was my man of the match yesterday. I think he was my man of the match yesterday. If I'm being totally honest with you, I think Garnacho was fantastic yesterday. And the reason he was fantastic yesterday is because he got that ball and ran at the defenders. He ran and he caused a lot of problems. He brought that ball out from trouble all the way up to the other side of the pitch. You know what I mean? Creating problems for Brentford. He was a thorn in Brentford's side all day yesterday. And you know what? I felt he was my man of the match yesterday. Absolutely. Rashford filling in for Dalot when we went into midfield. Garnacho outstanding. Yeah, Fernandes played like a captain. Casemiro Eriksson played well. De Ligt, he's a warrior. De Ligt was fantastic yesterday. Let's remember that De Ligt, you know what? He's a new player. He's had a lot of criticism, of course, unfairly, of course, as he is a new player at Man United, of course. So, you know what? I felt De Ligt was my rival for man of the match. I thought Garnacho was my man of the match, but then it was De Ligt. It was De Ligt and Garnacho. Rashford was third for me. I felt like Bruno was a little bit quiet until that pass. But you know that pass, it was absolutely sublime. That pass was sublime. The way he just gently touched it, nurtured it to Rasmus Højlund was absolutely world class. This is the thing. You know what? You can go missing throughout the game, and then it's just that one bit of quality that comes and you know what can change the game. And well and truly, Bruno won us the game with that little deft touch, didn't he? He won us the game. Big up Noah, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, mate. Big up Sal to the legend. Big up you. You are the legend, Noah. Thank you so much for joining me today. You are a legend, my friend. Thank you very much, my guy. Thank you. Big up Sal and Chatterbox. Big up Stephanie, legend, of course. Elite legend. Absolutely, absolutely. West Ham always turn up against United. Yeah, Stephanie. And you know one thing about West Ham is that you know what West Ham will be basically. Will be on a revenge mission. Not so much a revenge mission. There'll be a wounded animal. What happened to them at Tottenham yesterday? They was 4-1, didn't they, to Tottenham? So they'll be going into that game against Manchester United buoyed, you know, and ready to make up for that defeat. So it's up to us to be ready for that game. Be ready for that game, and we have to try and win that game. We win the next two games, guys. We win the next two games. You know what? The atmosphere is going to completely change. It's going to completely be on a different hemisphere if we win these next two games, guys. No, we're not going to get too giddy, but you know what? We will have a much more to be positive about, guys. Of course, we will win the Fenerbahce game. We'll go up in that Europa League table, win the game against West Ham. You know what? We're getting closer to the top of that Premier League half of the table, of course, guys. Only criticism with Viva G is he's converting more single goal matches to braces and hat tricks. Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing is like he could have had a hat trick yesterday. Definitely, Stephanie, he could have had a hat trick. There was a couple of times he should have passed the ball. I absolutely agree with that. But the guy's going to learn. He's still a young kid at the end of the day. He's still a young player. He's going to learn these things. He's going to learn these little things about, you know what I mean, picking the right pass at the right time, etc. Do you know what I mean? But I thought he was fantastic yesterday, and I thought his energy was brilliant. And do you know what? When Ryan Giggs used to play, Steph, you would know, when Ryan Giggs used to play at Old Trafford, I've been at Old Trafford when Ryan Giggs has been playing. Do you know what? He was so frustrating at times. Ryan Giggs was so frustrating at times. He would run from one end of the pitch, make a tackle, run to the other end of the pitch, right? sometimes he will make the wrong choice. He used to do that, especially in his early days. He used to make the wrong choice. But you know what? He would make up for it with a fantastic goal or a brilliant cross. He would do something like that just to compensate for the bad, of course, guys. Yeah, he is too selfish. Daniel, this comes with experience, my friend. This comes with experience. You know, when you're a young player, you make the wrong decisions. That is natural. You know, that's always going to happen with a young player. A young player is always going to make the wrong choices here and there. But you know what? He does need to learn to pick the right choice. He needs to look up. He needs to look up. That's what he needs to do, and pick the right pass when it is needed. Because at the end of the day, you know what? It could have been a little bit more trickier if Brentford were a bit more positive in their play. I was a bit shocked by Brentford, if I'm being totally honest with you. Whether that was because of us or whether it was because of Brentford just not playing well, I don't know. I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt because I do believe that we nullified Brentford. We stopped them from playing. And you know what? I felt we played well, and I'm going to give us credit. I feel that we deserve it a little bit. You know what I mean? We deserve a bit of credit, and I'm going to give credit to Manchester United for the way they played and nullifying Brentford, of course. Joint man of the match. Yeah, absolutely, mate. De Ligt and Garnacho for me. De Ligt showed captain material. Yes, absolutely, Stephanie. He reminded me of a prime Nemanja Vidic. You know, and I've been saying that since weeks and weeks and weeks. You know, about him being reminds me of Vidic. And you know what? People say, nah, he doesn't remind me of Vidic. He's different. He is. Does remind me of it, and I said it months ago, to be honest with you. And you know, in his debut, I mean, it's all about his mannerisms and things like that, you know, and the way he walks around, the way he dives into challenges without no fear. That's what I like, and it's something we haven't seen in a while. We've seen it briefly with obviously Martinez. Martinez does it a bit. This is why I think that the centre-back partnership of Licha and De Ligt can work to a T. I'm also looking forward to obviously Euro coming back into the team. That's going to be great. You know, I'm really looking forward to that. Was impressed with him in the brief time we saw him in the preseason, of course. We've got good times ahead, guys. And you know what? We have to be a little bit more positive. We have to stop the defeatist mentality. We have to stop coming on here before games saying we're going to lose the game. We're going to get cooked. A draw would be like a win. We can't be doing things like that, guys. You know, we're Manchester United. We need to stop it. And the mentality starts from us. It starts from us. And then it will resonate because we need the expectation. We need expectation. We can't just accept, you know what I mean, draws against this team, draws against that team. You know what I mean? We need to think about, we can win that game. We should win that game. Kazi, for the players to stop down tooling and sweep up their bad mentality and play like Real we are Manchester United, for goodness sake. Absolutely, Kazi. Absolutely. They need to sweep up all the mess what has happened and has occurred over this last 10 years or so. And we need to start winning football matches and stop feeling sorry for ourselves and just move on. And you know what? Create our own history. We need to create our own history. We need to make more memories for us. We've had a great memory last season when we defeated Manchester City in the FA Cup final. We need more of those moments. You know, we need more of those memories. You know what? It'd be fantastic if we start challenging for the league title. Can you imagine the intensity on these streams? Can you imagine how it would be on these streams? You know, the intensity will be at peak. It will be peak, guys. Absolutely. Garnacho Golden Boy Award, absolutely brilliant player. Future, mate. Future Ballon d'Or. Højlund played well. Højlund holding up remind me of Van Nistelrooy. Absolutely. When we played, we should use the game as a stepping stone for the next few games. But Fernandes needs to move the ball fast. I do believe that. David, you speak a lot of facts, mate. I do believe we do need to move the ball a little bit faster. As a collective, we do need to move the ball a lot faster. As the captain, Bruno Fernandes should be trying to get that ball moving swiftly, you know what I mean, from side to side, you know what I mean, those little triangles and stuff like that, a little bit more quickly. Keep the, you know what, when you move the ball quickly, when you play football quicker, we always used to do it under Sir Alex Ferguson. We were a quick team. We were a fast team. One end of the pitch to the other in 30 seconds, something like that. You know what? It confuses the opposition. The opposition don't know what to expect. They have little time to adjust to us attacking them. And that is what's good about moving the ball forward. If you stand still in the ball, if you pass the ball slowly, you know, it gives the opposition a chance to reshape, you know, get in their line and stuff like that. So we need to learn to move that ball quicker, be more decisive, and stop being indecisive with the ball. Stop second guessing where we're going to pass the ball. You know what I mean? Think 3 steps ahead. Paul Scholes used to have the third pass already planned in his head. He would know that one, and he also would know that one. You know, he was like that. He was that kind of player. We need something like that. We need to be 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the game, you know, at all times. Not second guessing where we're going to put the pass. Should the pass go here? I don't want to pass there because he's over there. I don't want to do that because he's there. We shouldn't be doing that. We should just be more assertive, guys. Absolutely. I don't want Everton to be sat, but I take Thomas Frank if he did. He's a good manager. Daniel, he's a good manager. I wouldn't say he's not a good manager, but there was a leak in the Manchester United dressing room, surprise, surprise, in regards to Thomas Frank. And one of the players said to Don Hutchinson, right, that Thomas Frank will get eaten up alive in that Manchester United dressing room. Now, Thomas Frank has a certain personality that, he's a nice guy, Mr. Nice Guy, etc. But will he fit into a dressing room like Manchester United? Is he a leader? Is he ruthless? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Personally, I think he was toothless yesterday. Personally, I think he was outwitted yesterday by Ten Hag, and you know what? He's a good manager, but you know what? His personality is more inclined, it suits more like a Brentford. It suits more like an Everton type of manager, but you never know. And I'm not going to say never, because in football, you never know, do you? You never know if he might be the savior of Man United. I don't know, but it's just my first impressions, mate. Amir, CR7 Vines Garnacho is our best player by far. CR7, absolutely. If he gets a quarter of CR7, I'll be absolutely delighted, guys. Excuse me. If he gets a little bit, a percentage of the talent of Cristiano Ronaldo, I'll be extremely pleased, man. He'd be, you know what? He's 1 in a million, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, guys. Absolutely. Hi, who's this texting me? 079. I don't even know who that is. Bear me a second. I'm waiting on something, so let me just have a look at this. Yeah, these bloody spam things, guys. They drive you crazy, don't they? So absolutely, please give the video an early like. Thank you, Stephanie, to help sales grow. Thank you so much. Since I started this channel, Stephanie, I've doubled my subscribers, and thanks to people like you and people like you people in the streams, guys. It's all because of you, guys, that my channel is growing tenfold, and I have nobody to thank but you. You are the guys who make it happen. You are the reason it's happening, and I got much appreciated to you. I will not stop until I'm up there. I will not stop until I'm on the 100,000 mark, guys. And that is what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for that 100,000. That's what I will do. I will not stop until I get there. And generally, when you fight for something, just like in football, when you believe something and you fight for something, you will get there. You will get there eventually, by hook or by crook. There are bad days, but there's going to be a lot of good days, guys. Believe me, this season, and we're going to do it together. There will be arguments. There will be disagreements, but I don't want you to jump off, whether we disagree or not. That is life at the end of the day. But I don't want you to jump off like some people jump off just because they can't take being wrong. You know what I mean? It's about opinion. It's about opinion. But if someone knows more than you about a certain subject, take the opinion. If you know more than me, I will take that opinion, guys. I will take it and say, well, you know more than me. Absolutely. So I take that. Don't just say, I disagree. I disagree. It's not about that. We're here as a community and we keep the love in this community. This community has grown a lot. And there's people in this community, people like Kingdom, people like Stephanie, people like that who've been here since day one, basically, day one, right? When I started this live content, right? I did start Stretford Post all the way back around 2017, but I wasn't doing live content and watch-alongs, etc. But now, you know what? I'm doing the live content, and I got respect for the people who have been here from the beginning, guys. And you guys know who they are. Chow, Stephanie, Kingdom. Those people have been here from the get-go, guys. And I have nothing but appreciating to them. You know what I mean? And you know what? We may not agree all the time, but you know what? It's about coming to an understanding that we are all on the same boat, and we all want Man United to be successful. Ultimately, we are success. That is all I care about at the end of the day, guys. Big speech. 30 watching. Thank you so much, Stephanie. You know what? Should be more. Hopefully, I'll get 1,000 watching one day, Steph. Hopefully, you remember these days. Just remember these days. Hopefully, I'll get 1,000 one day. Absolutely. Big up, Daniel. Big up. Yeah, thanks, mate. You know what? That's what it's all about, mate. Absolutely. Hoyland is a good finisher. He needs more passes. He needs passes. We need to create more. Yeah, we need more. I mean, what I saw yesterday, I loved. I mean, when I saw Rashford whipping in that ball, you know what I mean? I love that. It's reminiscent of David Beckham when he was whipping in that ball. I know it's high praise. I know I'm getting a little bit carried away here, but he whipped that ball in so good. You know what? Garnacho just needs to get his foot on it and it was going to go shoot. I mean, it wasn't an easy finish, let me be fair. But if he got in his foot, a good connection on that, that was only going one place, and that was the back of the net. Absolutely brilliant goal. 2 brilliant goals for Manchester United yesterday, sometimes I would like us to score some simple goals. We do score great goals. We're a scorer of great goals. Sometimes I want to see us scoring simple goals, tap-ins and all that, because it shows a different side to your game as well, that, you can open up a team easily, and score more simplified goals in regards to not having to have a moment of genius to open up a defense, of course, guys. Run the lights up, peeps, and press the subscribe button. Thank you so much, Kazi. You legend. Thank you, mate. Absolutely. Run the lights up, guys. Really, really appreciate you lot. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kazi. Yeah, we need to get the lights up and subscribers up, guys. I'm literally 800 away from 5,000 subscribers, guys. Unbelievably. 5,000 subscribers, guys. I'm 800 subscribers away from 5,000, and we're going to go from there, and we're going to go from strength to strength to strength to strength. That's what we're going to do. That is what it's all about, guys. It's going from strength to strength together. You know what I mean? Do you know what? It's all about a family here for me. It's all about, a community that I can communicate with, I can disagree with, we can argue with each other. But one thing is, right, don't take it personally. Never take it personally. At the end of the day, it is about Manchester United. That is what this is all about, guys. It's all about Manchester United. That is the number one priority for us. And that is the number one priority for me. And hopefully it's the number one priority for you as well, guys. So in regards to Manchester United rising again, what I want to see is this. Yesterday's game was fantastic. It was a brilliant game yesterday, right? We played good football. But one thing we need to change. We need to change the midfield desperately, because when we play up against decent opposition, that midfield is too exposed. In my humblest of opinion, the midfield is too exposed. I don't believe Eriksen is that number 8 position. He's not a central midfielder. He plays better as that number 10. Now, against Fenerbahce, look, there's lots of things we can do. We can bring Eriksen into that number 10 position, right? And move Ugarte as the central midfielder, right? And replace, obviously, of course, Mainu, or of course, Bruno, of course, guys. So we've got Fenerbahce, or we could play Xerxes as that number 10 and play Rasmus up front. That is my favorite choice, if I'm being totally honest with you. Rasmus is my favorite choice with Xerxes behind him. That would be good to see. I do want to see that. I don't think we're going to see it. I think he's going to move Eriksen into that number 10 role and play a double pivot, or play Mainu and Casemiro, most likely. Hopefully, Casemiro's injury isn't too serious. He did walk off the pitch yesterday, limping away. So hopefully it's not too serious, guys. I really do hope that is the case, of course. Brilliant suspended Fenerbahce. Would you use Casemiro and Ugarte as a double pivot with Eriksen or Xerxes? Yes, I would, Stephanie. I would. And this is what I would do against Fenerbahce, because it would give us a license to attack a little bit more in the final third. I don't think he's going to do that, Steph. I really don't. I think he's going to end up playing Mainu with Casemiro or Mainu with Ugarte. I think he's going to do something like that if Mainu is ready. I do want to see the double pivot, because I do believe we need protection against Fenerbahce. I believe we need to protect that midfield. We know what Fred's capable of. We know what Amrabat is capable as well. So we got to be careful what to expect on Thursday, because they're going to be wanting to prove a point. Make no doubt about it. They may deny it, you know what I mean? But they're going to want to prove a point on Thursday. Absolutely going to want to prove a point on Thursday. They're going to be the ones who are going to say, like, you know what, Amrabat, I think personally, we should have signed Amrabat. I think we should have signed him 12 million odd more, and we would have had the player in the bank. But you know what? It wasn't to be. And on Thursday, they're probably gearing themselves up for that already. Fenerbahce haven't had a fantastic season. They are fourth in the Turkish league, the Turkish Superliga. Of course, guys, they are fourth. They're not breaking down all barriers at all. By any stretch of the imagination, they're not killing it right now. They are fourth in the Turkish league. The likes of Besiktas and Samsunspor are ahead of them at the moment. So at the end of the day, look, we have to take advantage of that. I do believe we're playing better away from home. I believe we're creating spaces away from home, and the counter-attack will be key. This is why I feel like a double pivot will be good against Fenerbahce, because you know what? We cannot leave ourselves too open. We know what happened last season in Turkey, didn't we? The game was put there on a plate for us. It was on a plate for us, guys, and we still managed to throw it away 3-3 against Galatasaray, if we all remember. And it's a game we should have won, if we're being honest with ourselves, guys. Against Fenerbahce, it could be a similar game, right? It could be a similar game. So we have to be on the ball from the minute go. And we cannot be naive as well. We cannot be naive. We have to keep our defensive shape solid, right? And with that, I would play a double pivot, Ugarte and Casemiro. And if he wants to play Eriksen as number 10, play the Eriksen as number 10. But you know what? Don't leave ourselves exposed in that midfield again, because we know what can happen in places like Turkey. It's a difficult place to go. It is a loud, atmospheric, partisan atmosphere. Of course, welcome to hell, as it was in 1993, 1994, of course, guys. As we remember, you know, when Cantona kicked a fan and beat up a paparazzi guy and stuff like that. We all remember the times in Turkey, don't we? We've had some funny times in Turkey at the end of the day. We've had some good times. We beat Fenerbahce 6-2, Wayne Rooney's debut, of course, but that was at Old Trafford. But in Turkey, we've had some hard days. We have had some hard days, so we have to be alert for this, guys. Absolutely, absolutely. He's already humble, huh? Absolutely. Who's humble? I mean, I forgot. I must have mentioned humble earlier in the show, Kazi. I must have mentioned humble earlier in the show. Absolutely. One thing people need to be humble. Let me tell you who needs to be humble. Is Arsenal fans need to be humble. Yesterday, I was minding my own business. I was doing my own thing, right, as you do. And I had an Arsenal fan come in my Twitter, start bantering me about basically Manchester United against Brentford. Oh, ain't it nice to see two mid-table teams playing against each other? So I basically said, isn't it nice to see two teams who haven't won the Champions League playing each other? And they get defensive. They get all crybaby-ish. They start crying. Oh, we won the Cup Winners' Cup. We won the Cup Winners' Cup. Cup Winners' Cup is a European trophy. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm like, Cup Winners' Cup's extinct, mate. It's extinct, mate. What are you talking about? The Cup Winners' Cup. You know what I mean? We're talking about the Champions League here, mate. Champions League. You know what I mean? We're not talking about the bloody Cup Winners' Cup. Do you know what I mean? We won the Cup Winners' Cup. Mark Hughes, Sparky, Barcelona. We won it too. We've also won the Europa League, mate. We've also won the Super Cup. We've also won the Champions League 3 times. You know what I mean? So, you know what? When Arsenal argue about Man United, when an Arsenal fan argues with a Man United fan about Europe, it's a bit like Erik ten Hag arguing with, let's say, David Ginola about hair. That is what Arsenal arguing Man United about Europe basically equates to, in my humblest of opinion. It's a bit like Erik ten Hag going up to David Ginola and say, have you tried Wash and Go? Have you tried that? Have you tried Alpecin? Alpecin, it stops hair loss. You know what I mean? And he's got a bald head. Do you know what I mean? And that is what it's like to me. When an Arsenal fan comes up to me and starts talking about, oh, you know what? We won the Cup Winners' Cup. You know, the Cup Winners' Cup is bigger than the Champions League because you actually have to win something to get in it. You know what? I gave up. I gave up with some of them. At the end of the day, they're trying to call the Champions League a glorified cup competition. Do you know what I mean? And rah. You know what? Then if we're going to use that narrative, if we're going to use that argument, let's talk about Arsenal last season then, shall we? Let's talk about them last season when they finished second. What did they win? Nothing. What did we win? The FA Cup. Correct. So thank you, Arsenal fans. You just pull it in our plate. You put it in the plate for the argument that, you know what, the FA Cup's a big achievement than finishing second. You said it. It's from the horse's mouth at the end of the day. That is what I say. Absolutely. Big up. Delit is just a warrior and giving them Vidic tries. Absolutely, Amir. Big up, Vidic. I can't wait to see more of him, of course, guys. Arsenal game against Man United cheaters a few weeks ago. The Arsenal game against Man cheaters a few weeks ago. Yes. At the end of the day, Arsenal played a very, very strange game in that. They were tackling, they were going crazy, weren't they, in the opening stages in that game? Pre, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Stretford Post. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and smash a like if you could do that. Thank you so much for joining me, Pre. Hope you're doing well. Now, let's see what you got to say, my friend. We should have gone for Osimhen and Tuchel. Did you see Osimhen's goal for Galatasaray, guys? By the way, did you see Osimhen's goal for Galatasaray the other day? I like Zidane. What a goal. Osimhen and Tuchel. I don't believe in Tuchel, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Tuchel as a Premier League manager. I don't think so. The reason is that he's very one-dimensional in regards to his formation. He was kicked out of Bayern Munich because he changed to a 4-4-2 and he didn't know how to implement the 4-4-2. He liked to play the 3 at the back, of course, the 5, of course, and Bayern didn't like that. Bayern Munich didn't like that, so he ended up changing his formation to a 4-4-2 and it didn't work. You know, so he has one style of play. It's good for international football. It's all right for international football and the one-off games here and there. I don't think it's right. But that's your opinion. I respect. Look at our history. We went for Cole, York, Cantona. Now City goes for Haaland, was established, and we go for untested. Look, let me tell you something a little bit about Dwight York. Dwight York was a group player, right? But no one expected Manchester United to sign Dwight York. Dwight York was a bolt out of the blue, right? When we signed Dwight York, even me, right, I was like, Dwight York. But what it did, he complemented Andy Cole so well. It's almost like Alex Ferguson is a genius, isn't he? It's not only that. There's players like Carrick who people were doubting when they signed him. It's not just about signing Cole, York, Cantona. No one wanted Cantona. You know, he went for 1.5 million. He was trouble. No one wanted him. No one wanted Dwight York. You know, we were the only ones in for Andy Cole. You know, so at the end of the day, look, you know what? These players weren't deemed like, you know, in the finished article when they signed for Man United. We made them into world-class players. Yes, Andy Cole was a prolific goal scorer. He scored 40 goals for Newcastle. But you know what? We brought them into the next level. It's not just about signing. Now it's easy in hindsight to say that these players are world class. What great signings they were. What fantastic signings they were. No one would have said that about Jaap Stam when he signed for Man United. No one would have said that about Ruud van Nistelrooy when he signed for Man United because they were untested in the major league of the Premier League, isn't it? You know, no one would have said that. You know, so at the end of the day, we have to look at someone like Rasmus Højlund, and we have to hope that he becomes the player that we all hope he will become. And then later down in a couple of years' time, in 3 years' time, we're going to say, what a signing that Rasmus Højlund was. You know what? Why don't we make signings like Rasmus Højlund anymore? You know, football's fickle like that, isn't it? At the end of the day. Absolutely. But thank you, Preet, for joining the stream. Really good to have you here, my friend. Really good to have you here. Appreciate your opinion. Absolutely. And you know what? The problem we had in regards to Haaland, if I'm going to speak briefly about Erling Haaland, is that we brought it on ourselves. We should have told Haaland, but it was the old regime, wasn't it? It was the Murtos of this world, the Woodwards of this world. He actually came to Old Trafford, didn't he? Went to Carrington, the whole lot. You know what I mean? We took him around the ground, etc., and we didn't strike the deal. Sadly, is that our fault? I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there at the end of the day. You know what? Why didn't we sign him? Why didn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer persuade him to come to Man United? You know, there's many things like that. You know, why didn't he sign for Man United? Men, GK, what men? What about men? MEN. Big up, GK. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is fine with you, my friend. Absolutely. So one thing, the most important thing I would take from yesterday, you know what? We take the game, we celebrate, but then we calm down. We say, okay, now we got Fenerbahce on Thursday. This is where you divide the winners from the losers, right? You divide the winners from the losers. It's all about Thursday, winning that game. And if we win that game in a partisan, intimidating atmosphere in Turkey, do you know what? Then we can start saying, well, they showed character there. They showed something I haven't seen before, you know, and that's what I want to see on Thursday. And then, you know what? Momentum. And that's what it's all about. Getting the momentum, obviously start winning. You know what I mean? Start winning more games, winning away to West Ham, for example. That'd be fantastic, of course, guys. Let me just give you some updates on the football, guys. I'm going to give you some updates on that. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Manchester City 1, guys. Larson scored for Wolverhampton Wanderers on 70 minutes. Garvial has scored after 33 minutes to equalise for Man City, of course, guys. That was going to happen. Marcus Rashford, hard for the whole team. That's the mentality we want. Absolutely, Amir. And we hope that he can continue that into the Fenerbahce game in midweek. It's a very important game for us. We can't drop any more points in Europe, of course, and we can't drop any more points in the Premier League. And that's what you get when you lose to the likes of Brighton and stuff like that. Now we have to start winning games. And West Ham is going to be a difficult game. I think it's going to be our most difficult game in the next few games. It's going to be West Ham away. It's going to be difficult. If we beat Fenerbahce, it's going to be difficult. The problem is that we're going to go to Turkey, right? And then we're going to go to West Ham. So it's a little bit unfair on Manchester United in regards to the fixture list and stuff like that. Are we going to be tired? Are we going to be fatigued? I really hope we don't, because you know what? We need this momentum. We do need this momentum, guys. You know what? I don't want us to go into Fenerbahce, win the game, and then we go to West Ham and we put in a stinking performance and lose the game. You know what I mean? Stupidly. You know, it's only West Ham. Odegaard to start against Fenerbahce? I hope so. It depends what the formation he wants to play. Whether he wants to play Ericsson as the number 10, whether he wants to play Xerxes as number 10. It's going to be interesting. I'm really interested in seeing Erik ten Hag's formation against Fenerbahce. I'm really interested in seeing that, if I'm being honest with you guys. My friends, big up Amir, my friend. You are my friend. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend, my good friend, of course. Also, Marcus Rashford will not help us achieve trophies. He is only a supportive player. Garnacho has more fire than Marcus. Garnacho was my man of the match yesterday, at the beginning of the show, I was giving this morning I was giving my man of the match. Garnacho was my man of the match yesterday at the end of the day. We do need more competition in those wide areas. We do need a lot more competition in regards to players who can keep players on their toes. You can never have too many attacking players, you know what I mean? And, we need players to keep players on the toes, just like the left-back position. The left-back position, if we sign a left back, I guarantee you, Luke Shaw would be fit. He would suddenly, miraculously be fit if we sign a left back. He would miraculously come out of his slumber and be fit. Miraculously, of course. Amir, thanks you so much, my friends. International, big up international, the whole community all around the world, guys. We have people from 4 corners of the globe joining us on Stretford Post, guys. It's so good to see you guys here every single day, my friends, every single day. Don't forget to subscribe, though. If you haven't subscribed, please. And also, you can also become a member, guys. The membership is right there. It's in the description. You know what? I've got some great material coming, not just football, but interviews as well. I'll give you some stories about my time in the music industry and stuff like that. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Big up Amir. Good working with you, mate. Good news. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you too. Great working. Thank you, my friend, my fellow friend. Nice show. Thank you, Amir. Thank you. You are too kind. You are too kind, my friend. The hair, my favorite. So happy he's doing good. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm really happy that the hair has doing well for himself. I'm really happy about that because at the end of the day, I felt it was very unfairly treated by Manchester United. Having signed a contract, then having the contract taken away from him was horrible to treat a legend, which he is, because he's a goalkeeper who's been our player of the season 2 times, guys. You know what I mean? 2 times. I think it's 2 or 3 times he's been our player of the season, David De Gea, in such a difficult period for Manchester United. This period for Manchester United over this last 10 years has been absolutely horrible. If we're being totally honest, guys, it's been horrible. And we have to show praise where it is due, guys. We have to show praise in regards to, obviously, David De Gea and what he did for Manchester United. A lot of people treated him unfairly. There were the clips going around YouTube. There were the clips going around Twitter and Facebook and Instagram every single week, slandering David De Gea, after everything he'd done for us. I mean, I've seen David De Gea single-handedly save us. He reminded me of Schmeichel sometimes. Schmeichel sometimes single-handedly saved us, which he did. David De Gea did the same. Not on a level of success. We didn't get the level of success maybe he deserved. But you know what? He did save us in a number of games. I'm thinking back to that Arsenal game at the Emirates. Do you remember when Arsenal fans were saying he'll save the Titanic? You remember they were saying he'll save the Titanic, that guy. You know what? He was brilliant. And people tend to have short memories, of course, guys. They have short memories about our players and stuff. And you know what? I always appreciate our players of the past, especially when they always put in a shift. We're always available for the team, for the calls, of course, guys. Always, and that is what's important, and big up David De Gea, my friend. Good tweet, good message, Preet. Thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, mate. Absolutely. Now, guys, I will be doing my match preview, of course, for the Fenerbahce game. I believe I'll be doing it around Wednesday, so look out for that, guys. I'll be doing my match preview and be going through Fenerbahce and stuff, their team, our team, where the dangers can come from, etc., etc. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. It might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday. I might do it like that. And obviously, I will be doing the watch along for the Fenerbahce game as well, which is going to be stressful, I can imagine, guys. Absolutely. In terms of passion, which player comes close in the world to Roy Keane? Roy Keane is one of a kind, Roy Keane is absolutely in a league of his own in regards to his mentality. If I was to think of someone who's similar to him, I mean, not at Man United right now, I wouldn't say that. But in regards to Roy Keane, let me just think. If I was to say someone who's like Roy Keane, I mean, you have to think about personality as well, not just footballing ability. It was his personality, which was brilliant as well, guys, if we're thinking about it. I would say someone like Rodri, someone along those lines. maybe someone like that. He's just such a league of his own. I mean, when I think about Roy Keane, I think about the games he's had. He's taken us out of big holes before. You know what I mean? Not just the Juventus semi-final, of course, in the Champions League. He also took us out many holes in the treble-winning season and stuff. You know what? Those 1-0s, you know, those Keane shots from 30 yards. He was just another animal. And you know what? He was one in a million. And you know what? They don't make players like that anymore. It's too snowflakey now. It's too snowflakey now. They don't make players like that. I mean, if I was comparing to anyone, you know what I mean, it'd be similar to his mentality is similar to the likes of Martinez. He has a Martinez mentality kind of thing, but even more intense than him. You know, he fought for the cause. The one thing about Roy Keane, right? He never leave his players behind, right? When that episode happened with obviously Arsenal and Manchester United at Highbury, when Vieira was attacking Gary Neville, Roy Keane stepped in. Roy Keane stepped in and backed up his mate. You know, that is the type of character he was. You know, and he would do it on the pitch as well. When David Beckham was getting all the abuse from the fans of rival teams after the 1998 World Cup, who was there? Every time someone would put in a 2-footed challenge on David Beckham, who was there but Roy Keane? He was there. He was the one fighting. He was the one digging. He was the one grabbing shirts. He was a captain. He would inspire. He would inspire. He wouldn't moan. He would inspire. Week in, week out, Roy Keane would be there. Roy Keane would be inspiring. He was a legend. And you know what? It's very hard for me. Sporting the club for nearly 40 years now. I've seen most of Eric Roy Keane's career. I think seen it all at Manchester United. For me to compare anyone to him, you know, if I was to compare anyone, it would be a Manchester United player. It'd be Brian Robson, to be honest with you. It'd be Brian Robson. It'd be going into the realms of that type of player, you know. But Brian Robson was much more of a I wouldn't say a nice guy, but he was much more of a calm character in regards to that. You know, he was a calm character, a class act. But if I was to compare anything, I mean, obviously Rodri these days, he's not close to Roy Keane. Even he's not close to Roy Keane. But Brian Robson. Absolutely, Brian Robson is the only one. These days I don't, but only Brian Robson I can say, you know, gets close to Roy Keane, of course, guys. That's what I would say about that. We used to have a lot of winners in our football team. We used to have winners left, right, and centre. There were winners all over the football pitch. We had 11 captains on the pitch, and we also had some substitutes for captains as well. When you think of Manchester United, look, you know, Gary Neville could have been a captain. Stam could have been a captain. Pallister could have been a captain. Steve Bruce could have been a captain. Do you know what I mean? Rio Ferdinand could have been a captain. Dennis Irwin could have been a captain. Or, you know what, I'm just saying could have been, is a captain and could have been a captain. Do you know what I mean? These kind of things, you know, back in them days. You know, back in them days, it was like captains all over the pitch. Roy Keane, captain, of course, guys. Absolutely. Scholes could have been a captain. You know, Dwight Yule could have been a captain even. Andy Cole could have been a captain. Ryan Giggs was a captain. You know, Beckham was a captain. You know, Schmeichel was a captain. There were captains all over the pitch, guys. And you know what? We've lost that somewhat. We've lost that in regards to Manchester United, in regards to the nowadays. You know, we don't have 11 captains. And I think that is the problem. 11 plus, because obviously the substitutes as well. Nicky Butt was a captain. Of course, guys, you can even go with a substitute. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could have been a captain. You know, you can go even further and deeper into the squad if you like. Do you know what I mean? David May could have been a captain, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yeah, you know, that is what we're missing at the moment. We're missing 11 captains, guys. 11 captains. Do you think Ten Hag will start Ahmed in Turkey? Hasaifa, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. I don't think so. I think he's going to play the same formation. Apart from Bruno Fernandes, who can't play, obviously, he's suspended. I think he's going to go with the same team that played against Brentford. I really do. I think that Eriksen will move into the number 10, and I feel like that he will bring in Ugarte or Mainu in that midfield position. If Mainu is available, of course, guys, I think he will do something on the lines of that, you know, on similar lines of that, of course, guys. In an alternative universe, what if CR7 had gone to City instead of United in the second term? How much would he score in the Premier League? Probably the same amount, probably a bit more, probably about 10 goals more, but would have been absolute fire for Man City. And I'm absolutely glad he didn't sign for Man City. They didn't need him anyway. But he would have scored a lot of goals for Manchester City. Absolutely. He would have buried a few chances there. Absolutely. He scored 25 goals at Man United when we don't even create. You know what I mean? Imagine he had Man City around. He would have scored about 35 goals, 40 goals that whole season. I actually believe that. He would have scored 35 to 40 goals. He's the GOAT, isn't it? At the end of the day, do you know what? He's the GOAT, and he hasn't got favoritism like that other little guy who plays at Miami. Of course, guys, absolutely. So you know what? I'm getting a little bit anxious now. I'm getting a little bit anxious in regards to Thursday, of course, guys, because it is a difficult game, right? It is a difficult game. I was in Turkey a couple of months ago. I was in Turkey doing work, of course, guys, speaking to Fenerbahce people, Galatasaray people, Besiktas people. You know, I was speaking to them. I'm talking about, at the time, I was talking about Kadioglu, what Kadioglu can offer, etc. And they were talking about Manchester United. And we were talking about, we were going on and on about Man United, about how Man United, where is Man United? What's going on with Man United? Are they going to be back? You know what? And I always said this, right? I always said, be careful because the sleeping giant is about to awaken soon. You won't know when, but you will know when it happens. Do you know what I mean? You know, you will be ready. You will know when it happens, guys. The sleeping giant will awake. Manchester United will awake again, right? We're not going to be like this forever, guys. The cream of the crop will rise to the top again. Man United will rise to the top again. We will be back to where we belong. Don't worry. By hook or by crook, we will be back to where we belong, guys. That is what it's all about. You know what I mean? I believe that. And I don't think we're that far away. I really don't. I think there's a few tweaks here and there that can completely change the way we play. And then bang, we're going to be right there again, guys. And you know what? I'm going to find it incredibly sweet. It's going to be music to my ears, you know, at the end of the day. It's going to be music to my ears, you know, from the days when I used to listen to Man United on the radio, on Radio 5 Live to now, right? Manchester United will be back, guys. Believe me. And you know what? We cannot appreciate the sunshine unless we felt a bit of rain. And boy, oh boy, we felt a lot of rain this last 10 years, haven't we? We have felt a lot of rain this last 10 years. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. But brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But you know what? I'm confident for Thursday, guys. I'm really confident for Thursday. I'm excited for Thursday as well as being anxious. I'm excited because you know what? It's a tough game. And it's the kind of game with the atmosphere that, you know what, we would have folded in the past. We would have fought and we would have lost, you know, but I don't think we're going to lose this time. I believe we're going to win. You know, it's going to be a big win for Manchester United in Fenerbahce, in Turkey, in Istanbul. I think it's going to be a big win for Manchester United. I really do, you know, I really do. I can't wait for it. Johnson, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Garnacho should learn how to pass in the final third. Johnson, one thing I would say about that is he's a kid and kids are going to make mistakes. One thing he was our man of the match yesterday. And that is going without saying. He was running at the fullbacks all game long. I know he makes the wrong choices, but he will get better with age, Johnson. He will get better with age. And we have to give him a chance in regards to that. But he was on fire yesterday. And I said it during the game. He was on fire. He was running in that fullback like it was personal. And you know what? When you're running at the fullback, despite your passes and stuff like that, you know what? It causes havoc. It causes havoc in the opposition. As I said earlier in the show, I've been to a lot of games at Man United, over 500 in my life, probably more than that, around the world, right? And I used to watch Ryan Giggs from a young age, right, upwards. And your Ryan Giggs used to give a lot of frustration, He used to bomb up the pitch, make a tackle in his own half, run on the other side of the pitch to the final third, and then he'll make a silly pass. And it used to frustrate the crowd. It used to really frustrate the crowd. But he was young. You know, he was young. And I'm talking about the same age as Garnacho, of course, guys. You know, he was young. And as time went on, he became more of a nurtured footballer. As time went on, he even started to play in the central midfield, you know, because he matured, you know. And Garnacho will mature. He will mature and he will become the player that we hope. We don't jump on our young players. We don't jump on them, of course. He will improve in that final third, guarantee it. That finish yesterday was absolutely sublime. It was a brilliant finish yesterday, if we're being totally honest. And I felt that he did well yesterday. And he was my man of the match, along with De Ligt, was my man of the match yesterday. Third was Rashford, of course, guys. We hope he gets better. We hope he's being told in his ear that you should do this. You should be more calm when you get into that side. Try and pass the right pass, of course, guys. But, you know, many times our wingers haven't done that. Anthony doesn't do that. You know, Ahmed has been guilty of doing the same thing, you know, recently. So at the end of the day, you know what? Well, let's give him some time. Let's give him some chance to mature. Of course, he's gonna make mistakes. He will make mistakes. And you know what? He's got the talent and he's got the potential. So let's back him. Thomas Frank's audition for Man United crashed yesterday. Big up, Choco. How you doing, Choco? Choco Mocha. Do you like the chocomocha? Are you a chocomocha guy? I'm a latte guy myself. I don't like sugar in my coffee, of course, guys. But big up chocomocha, absolutely. Yes, mate, his job application did crash yesterday because they were toothless yesterday. Let's be totally honest. I think he was outwitted by Erik ten Hag yesterday. Erik ten Hag won't get the plaudits. People will say that, oh, you know what? It was Brentford. They were just bad. Brentford were just bad. You know what? Give the credit where it's due, guys. Give the credit where it's due. Give him his props. Give him his flowers, so to speak. You know, Erik ten Hag did well yesterday, and he nullified Brentford. You know, and they didn't have an answer, Brentford, and we should have won the game 3 or 4-1 if we're being totally honest, guys. Yes, his audition didn't go well. Of course, he would have preferred to win. Opinion on plastics: berating Xerxes. Give the lad a rest. Her safer. We can't. We have a fan base. Unfortunately, I say fans in the very lightest of terms, the very lightest of terms, who are called fair weather fans, in my opinion. They're fair weather fans, right? They love to jump on people. The reason they're jumping on Xerxes is because a lot of them are Ten Hag out, right? So they feel like they have to jump on a Ten Hag signing. Now, Xerxes just come to England, right? He's literally just played. He's hardly started a football match for Manchester United yet. We have to give him some time. We do, guys, right? A subject to popular belief that people are saying, no, you know, he should be like that already, blah, blah, blah. We don't compare ourselves to anyone else. We're different. We're classier than that, you know. But there are fans out there who love to berate Garnacho, you know, calling people like Rasmus Højlund a bum, you know, a young player like that. Did you see that finish yesterday? Doesn't come across as a bum finish to me. Absolutely, that sounds wrong, but doesn't come across like that, does it? It doesn't come across as a player who isn't got potential. That finish was fantastic yesterday. Class. You know, unfortunately, we got some of them are in the podcast, the fan channel Hemisphere. They have their opinion. They worship their opinion. They don't change their opinion. And that is what it's all about. And that is their problem. You know, they don't like Ten Hag. They don't like Xerxes. They don't like Ugarte. They don't like De Ligt. You know what I mean? This is what they do. The pattern is like that, isn't it? You know, the pattern is like that. They believe in their own opinion. They worship themselves. They worship their ego. They don't care about Manchester United at the end of the day. And if you're laying on Xerxes, we can give constructive criticism when it's due, right? You can give constructive criticism to Xerxes. You can say he looks a bit out of shape. He does, right? You can say, you know what, he doesn't look match fit. And that's fair enough. But that's no surprise. That's no surprise. At the same time, that's no surprise. We know that he's got the ability. We've seen it for Bologna. He single-handedly almost got Bologna. He single-handedly got Bologna into the Champions League, guys. Bologna. It's unheard of, Bologna being in the Champions League, guys, ahead of us. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So we have to give him a chance and we have to get, you know, see how it goes. And we give him a judgment 3/4 of the way through the season. You know what? I guarantee you, Xerxes will be an important player for us. He will be an important player for us. He will chip in with a few goals. He already has. He got the goal against Fulham, of course, which won us the game. We weren't winning that game, guys. He won us that game against Fulham. Let's not forget that, of course, guys. He did win it for us. So let's give him some time. Let's cut him some slack, so to speak, and let's see how it goes during the season, guys. Absolutely. Let's see how it goes and let's see where we are. Absolutely. Let's see where we are. I think I've got through everyone's comments, guys. Hopefully, I've got through everyone. Hopefully, great to have you here. Absolutely. Spot on, Sal. Thank you. Thank you. Big up yourself. I like your comments, Cypher. Thank you so much for joining me, mate. As usual, you speak a lot of truth, mate. You speak a lot of truth. You know what? Life, it's not all about attacking. It's about a balanced argument. You know, you have to balance it out. You know, not everything is set in stone. Not everything is one way, tunnel vision. You know what? Life is multi-layered. You know, there's reasons behind things. There's other reasons behind things. Just like Man United's decline, it's not because of Erik ten Hag only. There's other mitigating circumstances and fundamental issues around the club. You know, it's other things as well, guys. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been brilliant. Absolute respect. Thank you for everyone who's joining me in the chat. Loved it. It's gone quick. And I will be back tomorrow, guys, for Breaking Dawn early in the morning. 7 o'clock UK time, of course, as usual, in the morning. 8 a.m. Central European time, of course, guys. And, of course, 10 a.m. my time, where I am at the moment, which is in the Middle East. I am at the moment, guys. So don't forget to join me for Breaking Dawn tomorrow. Got a great show lined up, guys. So enjoy it. Have a fabulous evening. And I hope, you know what I mean? Who's going to win today? I hope it's a draw. I hope it's a draw between Liverpool and Chelsea. I hope it's a draw. And I hope Man City lose, of course, guys. Take it easy, guys. All the best. And listen, Look after each other. Be kind to each other. That's what it's all about. Take it easy. Peace.